this episode, we're doing a service call on a 2001 Toyota. We're out in a service call on a, I don't know, what is this, 2001 Toyota 4Runner, and guy said he tried to fix it himself. Lost the alternator belt. Sure enough, there's no alternator belt. To put the new alternator belt on, you gotta loosen the power steering pump and take the belt off. So there's two bolts and a tensioner that hold the power steering pulley or pump on, and these two are stripped. The heads of the bolts are stripped. The tensioner's loose. You got the tensioner loose, but these are stripped. And 6.12 point socket, you can't get on there. So we're taking off this shroud. We're going to take off the fan so we can get down in there. The alternator itself has been loosened, so must have got that loose. And so that belt will be ready to get on, but we got to get the other belt behind the power steering belt. There's 4 bolts that hold the radiator, the fan shroud on, which we're taking out. This is the last one. I've taken the bolts off that hold the fan on here. So we got that, and we're going to pull this all at once. Caught on there. Caught on the bolt. Okay. Now what am I caught on? Take that out. Lift this. Lift that out. Now I have some more access here. And anyway, let's get the alternator belt on while we're thinking about that. Where's the alternator belt? Did we lose it?
I lost it. Probably still in the front seat. Grumpy puss.
Gotta take the AC belt off too? I think we do. Maybe not. Yeah, I think we do. Yeah, we do. This had the, okay, so we gotta take the AC belt off. It has a separate tensioner down here, which we're going to loosen. That belt's pretty loose anyway. I'm surprised that even worked. Oh, maybe he loosened it already. Oh yeah, he did. Okay. Well then, did he loosen it enough? No. Loosen this tensioner. Let's slide this belt off. The crankshaft pulley. Let's get that out of the way for now. Drop the alternator belt. Okay, alternator belt. All right. Everything turn. Oh, hello, hammer. Okay. Again. A lot of people never think about the fact that when you're changing belts, if you don't want to loosen all this stuff, you can just pull the fan off. But I don't like to do it. I'd like to get these bolts out, but like I said, the sun's going down and it's going to be dark soon and we're in a parking lot. I've been in this situation before, and the only way those are coming out now is if you weld another bolt on them. belt on, and I'm just gonna slip it over the pulley studs, but I can't see what I'm doing because it's so dark.
Let me grab some palm paws and get a light.
So what we're gonna do here, we're putting the fan bolts back on. We're gonna tell the customer, hey, we got your belts on, except if you ever need to do anything with the power steering pump again, those two bolts are loose. We do have to tighten this tensioner down here for the power steering pump, which they had loosened, just to make sure if it ever would come loose. Well, we're gonna make sure everything's tight again before we leave. Obviously those bolts are tight, so that's not a problem. Okay. This pulley enough that these fan bolts don't need to be tremendously tight, because all they do is hold the fan on. They don't actually go, well, I mean, they hold the pulleys on too, but they don't have to be a million foot-pounds, you know. You want them snug, pulley can't be loose. Now we're going to put the old fan shroud back on. So just remember, if you're ever on the side of the road and you have the belts and everything, and you don't want to loosen all those bolts and tensioners, all you have to do is pull the fan off, guys and gals. Not that difficult. We did lose just a hair of coolant when we took the top radiator hose off, but that's easily replenished, and you can still drive it with that tiny amount missing, so not going to be too worried about that. We'll make sure to tell them to refill the coolant as well. I wonder how long the alternator belt was missing, if the battery's dead. If that's the case, it just occurred to me that the jumper cables we carry in the truck just broke yesterday. But I think we got lucky, because I think a little squirrel put the jump pack in the back behind the seat. I heard something thumping around back there, so I think that's what it is. If that's the case, then, well, sometimes you get lucky. Alright, did I tighten that one down there? Yes, I did. Okay, so we got that back together.
We got this little extra guy that probably doesn't matter because we don't know where it went. But
is that the one that was on the ground?
Yeah.
I don't know where that. Just throw that in the vehicle.
Okay.
I don't. It might not have even come from this vehicle. Might have come when he was working on it. Might have come from. He took the lower shroud off, so it might have come from there too. We're gonna retighten the tensioner on the power steering pump. It's also 14 mil. Everything on this car is 14 mil, I guess. Except for what isn't. Well, if they ran the battery flat, I don't know. Should be interesting. I don't know if my jump pack can start from the dead. Okay, yeah, that should be enough for power steering. Ideally, you would want a little more tension on that belt. But that's how much tension it had on it before. So, yeah. What size is this bolt? It doesn't actually appear to be. That's not 14 mil. Wow. Is it 12 mil? It is 12 mil. All right. There's a slot that the tensioner screw goes down into, and it was sitting up above that. So they said that they broke the old alternator belt. This is a new one that they had got we're putting on. I don't know. I don't see it laying around, which means possibly it's been driven with the battery flat, and I was really hoping not, but we're gonna see what happens here relatively soon. This radiator hose back on, and we'll double check everything. Come on now, get in there. Okay, double check. Okay, we got our battery pack hooked up. Let's see what happens. There she goes. Okay, so that's good. That's more than 12. That means she's charging. The belts aren't whipping around like, you know, crazy in there. So she's good, except for those 2 bolts that somebody else will have to get out. And that's good because the sun's going down. Got the job successfully completed.